Happy holidays, Piqua. I'm Caitlin and welcome back to PHS Now. It is the month of December and the Pride of Piqua has certainly had an outstanding end to the year. In our first segment, produced by Abby Smay, she sat down with a few of the members of the Pride of Piqua Marching Band and they discussed their recent superior ratings at Bands of America.
For the Piqua Marching Band, the road to a superior rating takes much time, effort, and dedication. Led by Mr. Hines and Mr. Mahaney, the marching band is able to achieve a superior rating at OMEA. We sit down with them and a few other students to discuss their band journey and how they prepare for events. As you watch the upcoming video, we sit down with Mr. Mahaney, Adam Gephardt, and Kirsten Chaneyfelt.
Hey guys, it's Abby and I'm here with
Mr. Mahaney.
Mr. Mahaney, what do you do at Piqua City Schools?
I am one of the two band directors for Piqua City Schools, which means I do concert band, symphonic band, junior high jazz band, 7th grade band, and then we assist each other, me and Mr. Hines, throughout the day.
Congratulations on your superior rating at OMEA. How do you prepare students for an event like this?
Well, something like that is what we kind of work for throughout the entire year. We start our season in July 6th, I think, is when we started, and we go all the way through the summer, work really hard through the summer, through the fall, and we have to qualify at one of the regular season contests in order to make it to state. And we were fortunate enough that we were close on our first contest of scoring a superior, but then we got a superior, I believe, straight ones at our next contest, and we just kind of continued on from there. We received straight ones for the rest of the season, which led us to state.
Right. Is there like a certain mindset you want your students to have coming into class or just going into an event like this?
Well, we want them to have the mindset of that it takes a lot of hard work to get where we're trying to be. It takes discipline to not only learn the music, but to get to practices and things like that. So it's a very long process, and you know, we think they do a pretty good job of following through in their commitment and getting where we need to be.
Are there any challenges that you may face trying to prepare?
Well, sometimes there's challenges like weather that kind of makes us alter our plans, you know, and there's things like illnesses and things like that we just kind of can't foresee, you know, and so we just have to adapt to that as we go.
All right, and then lastly, do you plan on going to OMEA next year?
Yes, this year for the first time ever, we hosted both weekends of OMEA State here at Alexander Stadium, and so we're hoping that we continue that again, but that's always our goal every year, is to get to state in OMEA, and then, you know, our final fun thing of the year is Bands of America in Indianapolis, so yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Good. Hi, I'm Caitlin and I'm here with
Kirsten.
and we're talking about the recent OMEA superior ratings for the marching band. So how long have you been in marching band, Kirsten?
I've been in marching band for 5 years.
What instrument do you play?
Trumpet.
What kind of mindset do you need going into OMEA?
You need to stay positive and keep an open mind, and be prepared to grow and learn.
So what is one of the struggles? Like, leading up to it, what do you have to prepare for the most?
You have to prepare to be constantly getting better. Sometimes getting negative feedback can be really difficult, but ultimately you have to push through it and take everything to make yourself better.
What is your favorite memory band in marching band?
Probably this past Bands of America. I had 2 solos. It was an overall amazing experience, a great time. It was a great way to end my 5 years.
All right, thank you. Hi, I'm Caitlin and I'm here with
Adam.
And Adam, what instrument do you play?
I play battery, or better known as tenors or quads, bass drum and snare.
So, how long have you been in marching band for?
4 years.
And what mindset do you need to have going into OMEA?
Just completely focus. All games that are done at like practice are just out the window and just do the best performance you can.
So, what has your favorite experience been in band?
Probably this year when we were on our way to Bands of America, we stopped at a little park for a little lunch break, and I started feeding a bunch of ducks, and about 20 ducks started showing up.
Okay, thank you. Once again, congratulations to the band. Maybe we can get them to play at the opening of the Indian Trail Cafe, a new coffee shop located in the PHS Student Union. Pickle Digital member Elijah Bushnell sat down with Ms. Schmeezing and discussed some of the hurdles and lessons learned on the path to the opening of the cafe.
Hi, Ms. Schmeezing. How did the coffee shop here come about?
Well, it came about actually when Mr. Messick was talking about possibly having a coffee shop started so that students would be able to actually run the coffee shop. So it started from there.
And what are the plans with the coffee shop?
So the plans moving forward are to eventually be able to sell coffee to students, staff, and we're slowly but surely getting to that point. So kind of figuring out all the little nuances of what it takes to open up the coffee shop in order for it to be selling to students and staff.
Was it hard to get everything figured out?
It wasn't hard. It's just kind of with never doing this kind of thing before and kind of starting from the ground up. It's just trying to figure out all the little pieces to it. So it's like a puzzle, and we're slowly getting the puzzle pieces put together.
It sounds like it was really tricky.
It has been a little bit of challenge, but all good. But all has been good.
What made you guys go with all the equipment that you bought?
So we needed this different equipment in order to have decent coffee. We're going to be selling Winans coffee, so in order to have that, we kind of had to have the more upscale kind of equipment here for us to be able to produce coffee similar to Winans.
What exactly can students look forward to when this opens?
Okay, good question. So once it opens, students will be able to come in and have options of coffee. We're going to also offer hot tea. We're going to be working on having iced coffee and eventually smoothies as it rolls out.
Sounds good.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Not a lot of schools get one of these.
No, we're very fortunate, very lucky to have that and for the investment to be made into this space, and we're looking forward to growing this as we move on.
All right, well, thank you for talking with me today.
Sure, thank you.
Hi, I'm Elijah Bushnell, and I'm here with Mr. Messick today, talking about the coffee shop. How are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good. I've actually had a cup of coffee from the coffee shop today.
Was it good?
Darn good.
Yeah.
It was darn good.
So I was going to ask you, how was the cafe funded?
So right now, because it's tied towards our curriculum, because there's actually one of our teachers, Mrs. Schmeezing, she does an employability skills class, and so right now it's actually being funded. Like we purchased Folgers coffee and some of these other things through our curriculum resources. Mm-hmm. Once we actually pass the health department inspection and we get the kids trained, or the kids trained and pass the inspection, then it'll be able to fund itself. So the school district made an initial startup fee, and then we were able to, like I said, we'll be able to get running. So hopefully we get a lot of sales, and we'll be able to, like I said, the more we sell, eventually they're going to have smoothies and stuff in there as well, so kids will be able to buy that stuff, and so that'll generate the funds. The whole idea, we're not really trying to make money off of it, it just has to pay for itself.
Mm-hmm. Was it in the original plans when you were renovating that whole area?
Yeah, so when, we started about four years ago with the whole, well, I guess it was 4 years ago, the redesign or redoing the high school. And my student advisory, about 2 years ago, I said, we started having conversations with them, what would make Pick special. And so we kind of started talking about it, and I noticed that everybody was, a lot of the kids were carrying around Winans cups in the morning and stuff like that, and the conversation started, they brought it to my attention, would it be neat to have a coffee shop or something like that? And from that point on, I was like, yeah, let's figure out a way that we can combine that with what we do in school and then with the space. So when we did the redesign of that whole student union, it was it's been in the planning for basically almost 3 years.
So I imagine the benefit is to make the students enjoy their day just that little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the big, the one things is, if, like the kids want to get coffee or the students get coffee, and teachers can check out the area and, have class down in the student union and they can have a coffee, those kind of things, kind of like that college feel a little bit.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we have students that will be running it, these students in these employability programs, they're learning job skills, and they don't something that generally they're not very exposed to. And so the whole idea, as it goes along with our whole success-bound idea here at Piqua High School, with the nursing lab, the media lab, and everything, is try to get skills out of high school that you can use someplace else and maybe a job. And that's the reason why it kind of fit in with everything.
So it's making some students have a responsibility and others feel a little bit more mature.
Yeah, 100%.
When do you think the coffee shop will be fully functional?
Okay, so right now, this is before we leave for Christmas break, we actually have our health department inspection. So we have to go through, they have to see us serve and do everything and make sure that we're doing stuff the right way. It's got to be, it's called Serve Safe or Safe Serve, I forget whichever it is. We have to follow their procedures. So the kids have been trained in that as well. It really comes down to everything from making sure that your hands are washed properly for the length of time, and making sure that you're keeping a very sanitized environment down there for food service. So once we get through all of that, we'll be able to, hopefully, we pass that the first time. Generally, they do a pre-inspection, then a final inspection, so we'll see where we're at with that. But the whole goal is after Christmas break, we'll be ready to start taking orders.
Do you have any student responses yet?
Yeah, we've had to do a lot of practice. So we're going to be running Winans coffee out of it, but most of our practice stuff is Folgers, just because it's cheaper. So we've had classes come down, and we've had some pretty good responses, and we've also had some responses we got to work on some things. So that's but. As we go through this whole thing, that's what we want. Is we want the teacher, the kids, to tell the teachers or to tell us, what are the flavors, what are they looking for, so that like I said, we want to provide a product that the students will enjoy.
Sounds like it's been a trial and error.
Oh, definitely. It's definitely there's been some error. Yeah, I think the first time I ran a pot of coffee, when we first got the thing set up, I had way too much water and it poured all over the place, and we've done all kinds of stuff. But we got it zeroed in now. Like I said, the big day for inspections coming up.
Well, I bet the whole school is waiting on the opening day.
Yeah, so we've started. It's going to be completely cashless. So you can either use your debit cards or your cards, but we're also going to do gift cards, so you can reload or prepay for them, and then you can reload them as you want to. So, and you'll be able to order it. So let's say if you're in before first period, you would order it to pick up between first and second period. Does that make sense? So that way you can still take it and get going to class and everything else. So that's how it's supposed to go.
All right, well, thank you.
No problem.
Piqua High School hosted a Super Smash Brothers tournament. Fortunately, AJ Ganger and Dee Skeens were able to sit down with Mr. Kaiser to discuss how he was able to make the event happen. Their turnout was amazing, and they had a lot of participants.
Hello and welcome to another edition of PHS Now. I'm AJ Ganger. With me, as always, Damian Skeens. And we have Coach Kaiser here of our esports team. You just held a pretty successful tournament that was Super Smash Brothers. Talk a little bit about that tournament and what kind of inspired you to put that on.
Yeah, so what the inspiration was is that we really want to start building this program with esports, and we thought one of the great ideas would be to host a tournament. And then we actually had about 30 participants sign up for the tournament, and then all students were welcome during the entire week. It was held during advisory. All students were welcome to go and watch, and it was actually a really good turnout. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, we had something similar down here a couple years ago where we just kind of threw like an underground Smash Brothers tournament, put on our YouTube page and stuff like that. I think it really got some of those kids who aren't like involved in a lot of sports,
Right.
you know, a little more exposure.
Yes.
Do you think like the esports helps those kids get maybe a little bit more
Mainstream,
exposure?
I guess.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, it's a great way to it's a great way to get kids out there to try new things. You know, some students may have never participated on like a sports team or anything, so I think when it comes to opening new doors, when it comes to, you know, doing video games, it's a whole new thing. So we're just trying to get as much exposure as we possibly can right now.
How many players do you currently have?
Right now, I think we have 13 people originally signed up for the fall. We're actually getting ready for the spring season. There's actually going to be a meeting this week, and then so we're excited to see how many people show up.
Great. Chloe told me that the captain of the esports team was beaten by the actual winner of the tournament.
Yeah. It was a great matchup, but it's always exciting to see who can actually compete. They don't have to play, and I think that's what really did this tournament well, is that we exposed new players and really got to see who else can play.
So. Yeah, it's like you're looking for the diamond in the rough, you know, like you're fishing, casting the net.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a limit on how many people can be on your esports team? Like, is there a cutoff on your roster?
Yes, so with Rocket League, there is 6 players per team, and it really just depends on how many students we get to sign up, so that will really depend on like how many teams we actually have. And then when it comes to Super Smash Brothers, I believe it's 5 that can be on each team. So.
Do you envision another tournament, maybe another game anytime soon that you might not be using?
Yeah. There's definitely some interest of getting new games, and so right now I would call this the inaugural season, if you will. So we're still trying to see how everything works, and then once we have a good foundation, I think that would be the time to expand to new games.
Why the lack of sports like Madden or NHL or any of the NBA?
Yeah, so Esports Ohio actually has only a certain amount of games that we can play against other schools. So those games include League of Legends, Fortnite, Rocket League, Super Smash Brothers, and I think that's it. There's only about 4 or 5 games right now.
Okay. Is that like a licensing deal? Like the state has to license those games to be able to have the competitions with them?
That I honestly don't know. Again, it's all so new to us right now, and there are rumors that MVL might be adopting here pretty soon, so it's not just going to be through Esports Ohio. I would not be surprised here within the next couple of years if MVL does go ahead and adopt it.
Does this kind of like levels playing field? There is no D1, D2, D3. I mean, this obviously would just be open to everybody. It's big schools, small schools, everybody can compete at the same level.
Yes, absolutely. So when we signed up for the open season, and that's what we did in the fall, it was basically just kind of like, get to know how all this stuff works, really. We participated and went against schools in Cincinnati, the Akron area, Toledo.
Wow.
It's just kind of all over the place.
Do they try to like centralize the locations of these tournaments so like people aren't traveling 3-4 hours to get places?
So what is really cool is that everything is done remotely.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
awesome.
So no travel expense or anything like that. And then we actually talk through what's called Discord.
Okay.
It's all student led, which is really cool. So the students actually set up the match themselves. They settle a time and what time works for the both of them, and then I'm basically just kind of overwatching, make sure everything's running okay.
Do they interact with each other? The competing teams? I mean,
yes. There is a chat, especially on Rocket League. There's like a game chat, and they can kind of talk back and forth as long as it's appropriate, if you will. So,
are they taunting each other?
Yeah. No talking smack or anything like that. I mean, you can, but it's got to be school appropriate.
Okay, so that you can kind of get at them a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah,
okay, that's good.
With the upcoming spring season coming along, how many tournaments do you guys have, and what kind of tournaments are there?
So when it comes to the spring season, there's 7 weeks of regular season play, and then depending on how well or how poor you do during that season, that will determine your seeding for the postseason. So if you do well in the postseason, then you actually go to the state championship, which is held in Akron, Ohio as well.
Now, is that the end? The end. There's national at this point.
Right. Yeah. There's no national tournament. It will be the state tournament.
Okay.
So.
I think that's pretty much all I have.
Real quick, you're a younger person.
Yeah.
Let's say 8 years ago, you're sitting at home, maybe, probably.
Yeah.
What game are you playing? If you're playing anything.
Funny enough, I was actually playing Rocket League, so it was kind of like almost not meant to be in a way, but I was definitely familiar with it.
Okay.
You know.
What was your system?
Back then it was PS4. I have the PS5 now, but not even. It was hard to find for sure, but it was yeah. So definitely Rocket League, and I wasn't very familiar with Smash Brothers. I'm not gonna lie. So that's definitely an experience of getting to know that game for sure. But after having that tournament, I was loving every minute of it.
Great.
I mean, it was definitely fun to watch. It was very competitive.
Yeah, I know when we hosted it, the games were entertaining to watch. You know, I mean, definitely some crazy moves that you see, and the animation is beautiful.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Are we allowed to televise these kind of events if they're able to, like, live stream them on our YouTube channel?
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing with that is there are some restrictions. Like I know, especially for Super Smash Brothers, there has to be at least a delay because that gives the other team advantage. But when it comes to Rocket League, I think that's actually, it can be like actual live.
Okay.
And then they also do that on Twitch. So we're kind of still working on like how we can actually do that, but we would love to have you guys.
Yeah, I know we would love to do that. We enjoyed doing it when we actually had commentators and everything. We don't. I guess we can talk further.
That would be awesome.
That off camera. Or
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, thank you, Kim.
Thank you so
taking
much.
Thanks for having me. It
We
was fun.
appreciate you
It was
coming
fun.
down. Don't forget to come out and check out the esports team down in the Student Union. Our Student Union is beautiful down there. If you haven't been in here, go ahead and come in and check it out. And
congratulations to Brackett, I guess.
Brackett Osborne
Shout out
for
to
winning the Smash Brothers tournament as well.
Yeah, that was
So,
awesome.
Cam, thanks again. And
thanks for having me.
Hopefully
Appreciate it.
we'll get some more events coming along.
Yep, look forward to it.
Hi, I'm Rob Messick, the principal of Piqua High School, and for the December edition, we are here with our Hope Squad. And Hope Squad, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Anna Monroe, and I'm a senior. I'm Kylie Kermeans, and I'm a senior.
Richard Price, Jr.
All right. Kylie, got a quick question for you. How many kids are actually in our Hope Squad?
I think there's about close to 20 now.
We
We
have
have a lot of recruits now.
All right, so there's 26, and that's all grade levels?
Yeah.
Okay. Anna, can you give us like a little bit of information on what is Hope Squad?
Hope Squad is a program that is helping kids get more resources with mental health and mental illness, and it's basically just making suicide and anxiety and depression less taboo of a topic.
Excellent. And Richard, didn't you guys just go on a conference or something like that? Was there a conference you guys just attended?
Yeah, we just went to the Hope Squad conference. Hundreds of schools there. It's a huge thing, and we chose 3 breakout sessions.
Okay.
So,
and then, did you do 3 as a group, or did you do 3 breakout
as individuals.
Sessions? Okay.
So I think every group I was in, there was at least one other Piqua person in there too, but we chose our own 3.
Can you give me an example of what a breakout session might have been?
The one was like how to love yourself in the selfie world. So talking about like social media and self-image and how to love yourself and not necessarily be affected by those outside things.
And, and that's the thing. The amount of, even in my position, the amount of times that we have to deal with issues that stem from social media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
crazy.
Yeah, it really is, and it's unhealthy. And I don't want to get up on the soapbox and start, talking about the use of social media, but it's extremely unhealthy. And I would say that I can safely say that most of the issues we deal with from the district, almost 75% of them deal with some type of stem from some social media. So.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people have to like take breaks sometimes, like off their phone and like shut down for a couple days or weeks or however long you want to do.
Right. So how often would you need to take like a break? Like if you like to be a healthy social media user?
I completely made like a whole new Snapchat account, and I only have like my close friends on it because I just had so many people on my Snapchat account that I either didn't know or didn't talk to anymore, like new friends of friend wise. I was just like, what is the point of having all of these people that have access to seeing my life,
Right.
like all the time? It's just crazy to me because I feel like so many kids just have so many different friends from other schools and like different people from other schools, which is like great, like that's good for you, but for me, like the older I get, I'm just like, I don't want everybody knowing my business 24/7.
No, and I think that's great. That's great advice. What are some of the things that you guys do as a Hope Squad during the school year?
So at the conference that Richard just talked about, there was a get together that was about like getting the Hope Week ideas and stuff like that, and usually at the end of the year we do like a Hope Week or a Hope Day, and we're trying to make that more known and like expand on that topic. But for the past couple years we've done like lifesavers in the morning and like or hand out a little note, and then we made this Hope Squad poster that you like sign your name on it or like a good message on it to show that you support like what we're doing and to help people who are in that kind of situation and like that.
Okay, and you guys also didn't you do like it was a hot chocolate day or something?
Oh, a coffee bar.
The coffee bar, yeah.
Yes.
Coffee bar. That was always a big hit.
Yeah, it was
We
a big
also, all the members receive different trainings
Uh-huh.
throughout, so we actually get trained by professionals, like how to know the signs, and our most important part of the training is how to refer someone to an adult, because I like to say, Westfall actually told me this, so love him for this. Friends can show you empathy and support, but adults can mentor and give you help. And I think that's important because, yes, your friends can support you and empathize with you and understand what you're going through, but you really get that one-on-one support and tools that you need through an adult.
Yeah, I'll give Mr. Westfall a plug too. That's great advice. But, you know, and we had talked about this in my student advisory, it's difficult to go to adults sometimes, you know, because I think a lot of times within high school kids see themselves as adults and they feel like they can solve, and they are, but maybe they just don't have as many experiences or whatever that somebody that's 51 years old would have. But yeah, that's a big step, and I think that would you guys agree that Hope Squad helps make that step a lot shorter, right?
Oh, yeah.
To get
Most of us have had like an experience to at least help one person, and we do know like the training that we do go through, it really does help, and it does show people that we are mature enough and we keep everything confidential and they trust us to tell us stuff that they're going through.
Right. And you guys actually have to, you volunteer for this, right?
Yeah.
And there's a whole process, and I think you guys were actually, I know you were actually nominated by the student body to represent you.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty special because, when the kids, obviously the rest of the students feel so much, or they feel that you're strong people, that you are helpful people, and that they put your names out there. I think it's very special. So good for you. Who are your guys' advisors for Hope Squad?
Schulte and Mrs. Soldes.
Okay, two of our guidance counselors.
Yep.
Okay, and so if a kid wanted to get involved in Hope Squad or learn more about it, they should probably reach out to those two. Is that correct?
Yeah, and also we're trying to do like a thing during advisory for like maybe 2 or 3 Hope Squad members that like every day or like maybe once a week, that if someone or kids wanted to talk about like anxiety or just like school pressure or something like that, people would be there for them, especially like kids their age that would understand what they're going through, and like we could help with classes or stuff like
Almost
that.
like a support group.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a, and people are finally starting to accept that, there's social emotional problems in your guys' age groups, and they're pretty severe.
Yeah.
And there's and I think, like you said, going back to, there's a lot of us deals with social media and there's all kinds of other things in their environments that can cause those problems. But just letting people know that there's kids out there like you that are out there to support them, and there's adults out there to support them too, and getting that message out. So very noble calls, guys. I really, really appreciate it. You're wonderful kids. Adults. There we go. Thanks.
Thank you for watching the December episode of PHS Now. We hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Don't forget those 3 important words. We are Piqua. We hope to see you next time.